Welcome to the 11th annual Sunshine Coast Popsicle Stick Bridge Building Contest. We're delighted you could join us. I will note that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Shishal Nation, and we express our appreciation for our gathering here today. So, we are super stoked at this year's competition. Um, we are testing double the number of bridges we tested last year. Last year we tested 76 bridges. The year before it was 67, and in fairly recent years, it was in the order of 40 or 50. So, what a great job this year in terms of the level of participation. We had 178 bridges registered, including 3 from North Vancouver. So you can bet that we are super excited about this year's competition. The competition is brought to you by Technology Fest, Tech Fest for short, a fairly new enterprise that we put together 3 years ago to serve as the umbrella group that would promote science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, here on the Sunshine Coast. And we have visions that there might be a bigger picture involved in terms of taking some of what we do throughout the province. But that's another story. We do plan to launch Technology Festival, Tech Fest, officially this fall. So I'd ask you to stay tuned for that. I should probably tell you that my name is John Leach, and I'm currently chair of the Popsicle Stick Bridge Building Contest. It's been my pleasure to serve in that capacity last year and this year. We have a number of individuals who are doing a person's job, just an incredible effort being made by a few volunteers to bring this competition to you today. They include Jennifer Christensen, Brian Kramer, who's our techie guru. Like without him, we'd be totally lost, especially during these COVID times. Sam, DG, and Domenico. Sam and Marjorie are solid. There's Peter Moonen, who's beside us. Hey, Peter.
Howdy, John.
Good to see you again. For those of you who may recall, last year Peter and I co-hosted, provided the commentary for the bridge testing. Diane Mueller is a backup support in terms of our tech activity, and we appreciate Diane joining us. Lisa Murata, who has been with this competition like I think forever. Not only a builder in the past and a holder of a record of a bridge being built, she continues to provide incredible service in support of this fantastic activity. Devi Prasad, thanks Devi for coming on board. Devi's a newcomer. I should tell you that he showed up with a bridge. So he built a bridge this year, showed up and dropped it off at our home. And we got chatting. And he said, well, if there's anything that I can do to, well, he didn't need to go much further. I said, you bet. Here's something that you can roll up your sleeves and help us out. So he was learning the ropes, but came out and helped with the testing. Tulia Upton. Tulia owns the Sunshine Coast Materials Testing firm in Sechelt. She joined us for the first time this year, and we thank Tulia. In fact, thanks again to all of the volunteers. I want to again stress appreciation for the teachers. Peter, without the teachers' involvement and engagement, whether the bridges were delivered to students, provided to students, and the children took the bridges home to test, or they were done as a class exercise, teachers alone accounted for over 400. I don't remember the exact count. I think we were up to, in my head, I remember 423 bridge kits, which was very new this year. Last year, the teachers had to source bridge kits through the 10 businesses. This year, we provided them in bulk to the teachers when requested. We are going to get to testing very, very shortly, but we do have a couple of business items that we do want to take care of. And first and foremost, we want to hear from our local leaders. So we reached out to local leaders in our community. Patrick Weiler, the MP for West Vancouver Sunshine Coast Sea to Sky Country, sent us a note, and he said, the Popsicle Stick Bridge Contest epitomizes the extraordinary community spirit on the Sunshine Coast. I would like to thank the organizers for making this event an exciting opportunity for youth of all ages to have some fun and at the same time learn about science and technology. Patrick continued and he said, I understand that you have doubled the number of bridges being tested. An excellent showing for which you should all be very proud. Many thanks to the teachers who engaged in record numbers this year and to the 10 businesses who, despite the pandemic, stepped up to help distribute the bridge kits. Well done, Sunshine Coast. So thanks to Patrick for that message. Our MLA for Powell River Sunshine Coast, Nicholas Simons. Nicholas is also the Minister of Social Development and Poverty Reduction in British Columbia. Nicholas wrote, the Popsicle Bridge building competition is always exciting, so I hope everyone's nerves last as long as their structures. Well said. Congratulations to everyone for taking part, some of you for the very first time. The challenge of figuring out solutions to complex problems can be really fun. So whether your bridge does well or couldn't be trusted, I hope you and everyone who gets to witness your event sees how engineering, science, math, and technology are fun and interesting. Thanks very much, Nicholas. Appreciate your contribution. And the mayor of the town of Gibson's, Bill Beamish, wrote, congratulations on organizing the 2021 Popsicle Stick Bridge Challenge. I hope that the winning entry will be a model to link the Sunshine Coast to the mainland and solve our ferry transportation problems. Good luck to all of you. A little bit of humor, dare I say. Thank you for that, Bill. Appreciate your comment. And the mayor of Sechelt, Darnelda Seegers. Darnelda has been a very strong supporter of our event over the years, as the others. In fact, I recall came out and attended our 9th event, which was in person. Seems such a long time ago. And not just to bring words of greeting, but she stayed for the entire event. Darnelda, thanks for that. And she said, the Popsicle Stick Bridge Contest is one of my favorite events each year on the Sunshine Coast. It's so much fun to see all the bridges, the creativity that goes into building them, and how the different structures stand up to the stress of testing. Thank you to the many dedicated volunteers who put in numerous hours putting the kits together, prepping for and then managing the event. It's great to see the number of entries increasing each year as entries engage with the science behind bridge building. I look forward to watching another fascinating event. Good luck to all who entered. Thanks again, Darnelda. Very much appreciated. We're getting close to testing, but I do want to, I think it's in other terms, we're not quite professional here yet. No. But we want to take a bit of a commercial break, in a sense, I suppose, by acknowledging our organizing partners. Key to making all of this happen is the Sea to Sky branch of Engineers and Geoscientists BC, as well as the Applied Science Technologists and Technicians of BC. Naturally, events such as this, the cash prizes that we offer, the expenses associated with a small amount of modest advertising and some other direct expenses would be possible if it were not for our financial sponsors. So thank you to our lead financial partner, the Rotary Club of Gibsons. I should add that without an ask on our part, they stepped up and doubled their contribution this year over last, and we do appreciate your commitment and your ongoing support. They've been with us many years. Lead contributors include Grant Marshall Realtor, Sutton Coast West, the Rotary Club of Sechelt, and J. Wayne Rowe Law Office. Again, sponsors who have been with us before. On the sponsor list, we have in 3 others, and that includes Gibson's Building Supplies, Home Hardware in Gibson's, and James and McIntyre Chartered Professional Accountants. For the last 2 years, again because of COVID, we approached businesses in our local communities to help us distribute bridge building kits. So thanks to, in Gibson's, thanks to GBS, Home Hardware, Park Road, Automotive, and Wheatberries. In Sechelt, it was GBS, Pastime Toys, Restore, So Easy, and Sunco Building Supplies, and in Madeira Park, Dave at Oak Tree Market. All right, so we're just about to turn it over to Peter, who is providing and has provided and will again this year, I'm sure, provide a superb commentary as we go through the testing processes. We will post on our Facebook page all of the results. So all of that information will be captured and will be posted up there. We will also draw from a hat, so to speak, some door prizes. So that will take place after the event, and we'll be in touch with the winners there. The bridge winners will be announced at the very end of our testing, and those two will be posted, and we will be in touch with all of the winners in order to get our prize money to you. And yes, this is all being videotaped. In fact, Peter's going to say a couple of words about the process we followed in terms of bringing this to you. And yes, that video will be posted as well. All right, the time has come. Now over to Peter to take us through the testing process. Peter, over to you.
Thanks, John. One thing you forgot, a lot of the credit for this organization goes to John. He's not really giving the true acknowledgement to the efforts that he has. He's the one who brought us all together, who organizes, does the lion's share of the work, and he jokes about sort of eventually getting to the topic. I've known John for many years. He's when he was in charge of the ASTTBC, Applied Science Technologists of British Columbia, he would always sponsor our Wood Design Awards, which have gone to bridges in some cases. And even though he would maybe take longer than we expected, he always had something that was valuable to say and complimentary. I've never heard him say anything really bad about anybody. He's very, very positive, upbeat, and very, very pro-science, technology, engineering, and math. So thanks to you, John. So just to tell you what we did, because of COVID, we did all of the testing last week, and we recorded it. So these are unedited other than trying to shorten it. We have 2 test rigs which were set up, and that way we can set up one bridge while we're testing the next bridge. It takes about 30 to 60 seconds, you'll find on the video. Well, it took us over 3 hours to do the testing last Sunday, in May 23rd. We did, Brian, our technical guru, has consolidated that so that really all you see are the tests. You don't have to put up with all of the bloopers, although some of them were pretty good, the flying popsicle sticks as rigs broke and stuff. But it will take about 30 to 60 seconds per each one. We'll start with bridge number 1 and progress chronologically. There's a couple of bridges that we didn't test. The numbers they disappeared for some reason, or we miscounted. And there were a couple of things where we had a technical glitch with the video, but we'll try to comment on that as it comes out. We have posted on the Facebook page the approximate time for testing of specific bridges, and we've asked if you can't stay tuned, you know roughly where you're going to be, so you can find the approximate time of your bridge being tested, so you can watch. I will indicate each bridge number as we test it, and the name of the person. You will see a rig loader pick up the bridge to test it, load it on the rig, and then you'll see the bridge number on the right-hand side of the screen. And then a second volunteer will apply pressure to the bridge deck and each bridge until it either falls through the rig or carries no more load or shatters. When a bridge fails, it's removed and another bridge is added while we go switch cameras and go to the next one. So what you'll see, some bridges will twist, some bridges will bend, some will slump, some will spring, some will snap, and you'll see sticks flying. Really, what happens to your bridge? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned and watch it. We're about to find that out. Before we get started, a few key features about some bridges which caused us to either render them non-compliant or made it difficult for us to test. Bridges that are too short don't fit into the rig fitting. We ask that the bridges be 53 centimeters long. They should be square edge. If it's less than that, it makes it really difficult for us to test it properly. That's really a disadvantage for you because your bridge isn't meeting the testing that you want to design it for. So bridges that are too short, we will test them by inserting blocks in the middle, but they won't qualify for prizes. Sometimes the bridges are not square, so if a bridge, what we recommend is that the bridges be square and 53 centimeters from structural point to structural point. A few bridges also had sticks placed in the center where the load shaft has to go. So if we're loading a bridge like this, the shaft comes down. We want it to apply in the middle to a bar that goes across here. But if there's a strut right across, we had to remove that with the permission of the builder to allow space for the loading plate to get in and then pressure to apply down, so that we try to test them all exactly the same way as equitably as possible. But so for next year, just remember we have to test it. Make sure there's an opening in the middle for us to put a load. Make sure it's 53 centimeters. Make sure it's square. And then this time next year, we'll see your bridges being tested adequately. So now we're going to start the testing, and I'm going to turn this over to Brian to get to the testing. First bridge here, bridge number 1. You'll see the list of you see the process where we connect it into the rig, gradually tightening it up so that that bar across the tube that you see at the top applies the pressure equally. The two struts that you see, the little thin struts, actually pull that mechanism down and apply pressure to the bar that's in the bridge. So the handle you see there will apply pressure on this bridge. And the first bridge that we have is by Isaac Eisen. Now, we're just going to have to, oops, looks like we're not getting pressure here. We have to tighten, or we have to close the valve, to the release valve. So we'll get Tulia to tighten that valve. Tulia, can you adjust there we go. So now we'll apply some pressure to this. So Isaac, here's your bridge. 977, 1075. Nice, good, strong bridge, Isaac. A little bit more, and there it stops taking load. So this is now Jackson Eisen with bridge number 2. Gradually applying pressure. You can see the bridge is bending a little bit, but 859 newtons before it stopped taking load. So now we have bridge number 3, which is Debbie Prasad. Debbie was a volunteer as well, so it's nice to have volunteers come through this. Debbie's bridge 412 up, and then went to 412.18. I'm sure he'll be taking a look at that. Bridge number 4 is Christopher Ruck. Has some support behind it, but it looks like it's twisting a little bit here. Still 271.6, which is a pretty good showing. Christopher is an elementary student. So Ava Mekatic is also an elementary student. Bridge number 5. Looks like not quite enough length on that bridge, Ava. On the left there, you can see there's only one popsicle stick, so that's going to fail because it fell through. So here is a flat bridge, which was a very common type of bridge for the category this year. We had lots of those that we will be testing. So let's see how Chelsea Seabrook's bridge goes. So 8.4. So these types of bridges, they tend to bend and stretch, so they stop carrying additional load because the bridge is moving. A bridge is able to carry load when you don't see it moving, and then when it starts to move, you know that it sort of reached its capacity and is going to start to fail. And this one will, here it looks like it's just 10.6 before it slides off of the rig. So we'll now read, Chelsea's got to 13.3. So this next bridge, number 7, is by Isabella Casey Campbell. We'll start applying some pressure on this one. Looks like the trusses are twisting away from each other, starting to fail. And there we go, 57.3 newtons on that one. Okay, this one here will close the release valves. This looks like it's just barely fitted in. It seems to be a little bit loose. This is what I mean when if it's not quite long enough, we're not really able to test the true merits of the bridge. So if this bridge were a couple centimeters longer, it would probably test better, but let's find out. So Nova's bridge, we're going to apply the pressure, 13.5. It's taking a fair bit of weight, but it's starting to bend there. I think, Nova, if that bridge was just a couple centimeters longer on the base, you probably would have seen it go much higher than 65.1. Okay, so this next bridge is by Pipa Muro. So we'll apply the pressure here. Oh, it's separated at the end there. So 57.4, it's not going to take much more than that. So 57.4 newtons for Pippa Murrells. Bridge number 10 by Poppy McPherson. So they're just tightening up that spar that pulls down to make sure that the bridge is tested fairly and equitably in the middle. Let's add some load here. 5 newtons, starting to bend, 19, 20, 38, 43, 52, 60, 70, and started to crack and fail around 71.3 newtons. Thank you, Poppy, sorry. Callum Neufeld has the next bridge, but here's our standing so far. Devi Prasad with 412.8, and we'll see how that holds up against the next 168 bridges that we have left to test. So Isaac Eisen for the family, you have the top one for the family of 1,074.5 newtons. That's quite a strong bridge.
This was showing just a little bit of what's to come, eh, Peter?
Yeah, these are some of the ones that we have tested, and you'll see throughout the day. This next one is Callum Neufeld, bridge number 11. Callum has entered many of these Popsicle bridge competitions. I guess he's one of the longest lasting and most experienced bridge builders, and it sort of shows. Here you've got 1,152.9 newtons, Callum. Nicely done. But Callum had a couple of bridges in this one. There we go. So 684. And this one, again, it was just a little bit too narrow for the span. And you can see it slipped off on the right-hand side there and stopped taking load. So, but two very good bridges by Callum. Okay, bridge number 13, Lavelle Staunton. So we're applying pressure here. So Lavelle up to 151.1 before there was failure on the span. Okay, bridge number 14 is Oliver's. So gradually apply the pressure here. So this bridge, you can see that the legs underneath are not, that's technically, I'm not sure whether we decided that was compliant or not, but those legs that stick out the bottom, in future, those are not allowed because they apply a pressure that's not really, that's not permitted under the bridge. But it's an interesting concept, Oliver, because it gave you some good span loading, and this was a bridge that was accepted. So, but typically those are not permitted. But we didn't have rules to say it couldn't. But I think we're going to be looking at that down the road. Okay, bridge number 15. Zoran and Luke. I think I got the name wrong in that last one. I think I was referring to Callum, but it was Oliver. So Zoran and Luke, here's your bridge. We go next to Ginny Marshall and Raphael Nespinski, bridge number 16. See the deck here bowed and the spans twisted, so there wasn't enough lateral support to keep the bridge to have the load going completely vertical. So you can see on the left there, it's sort of twisted to the left, still carried 221 newtons though. So the next bridge, number 17, gets loaded in, will be Charlotte and Nalia. So going through 40, 60, 65, 64.2. And someone in an ugly shirt got in the way. That was my ugly shirt.
All right, I didn't know whether
yeah. I know
confessing.
you'd say it or I would. So Sophia and Sophie put in a very good effort with their bridge, number 18. 251 newtons. Congratulations. Bridge number 19. This is a fairly tall bridge. I remember trying to load this one up, but it was got a fairly good load on it. That depth of the bridge takes a lot of the stress. And you'll see here, they got 736.6 newtons before it stopped taking load. So excellent design, Katie. Sorry, Sophia and Sophie.
Well done.
Sorry, Katie and Deb, sorry, got the list here. And Deb has another one, bridge number 20. So it's, now this one, it looks like it sort of twisted. The deck snapped at one point, but it still carried 552 newtons before it stopped taking load. Ben and River have elementary school students with this one, bridge number 21. 109.1 newtons. Number 2 is Matthew Duro. What is elementary, right?
Yeah.
So start applying pressure to Matthews. Okay. So you can see Matthew, the bridge on the far right-hand side, the span didn't quite reach the edge. So it's really important to have the feet of the bridge, the footings where it spans the rig, both in alignment. This one it causes twisting to happen. So just for future, have 4 feet fully spanning the bridge and all square. Bridge number 23, Rhiannon Marsh. This one here stopped taking load, I'll say, it's at 36.8. Okay, bridge 24 is Maddie and Gwyneth. This one was loading from the top. So you can see it gets up to 254.9 before it stopped taking load. But nice effort for Maddie and Gwyneth.
Okay, and Peter, that one was determined to be non-compliant as well.
Yes, and that one was because you couldn't drive a vehicle on that. So again, imagine that the bridge has to carry a vehicle. So Zach and Ava and Caden, 511, 524. Very good effort. You can see how this one started to twist. So it didn't really fail. But it twisted. And if you're a vehicle on a twisted deck, that's classified as a fail. But 524 newtons, excellent. So this one is Francis and Andrea. Again, elementary students. This was one of the most interesting bridges we found. It's almost like a bow and arrow. You can see, like a bow, it is stretching and has some elasticity, but it got so much that it fell right through the grid. So nice concept, but not so much for a bridge where you have to carry a load.
Special mention certainly for artistic
Yes,
flavor.
yes, we all enjoyed that one, yeah. So Pulkit has an excellent bridge here, almost 400 newtons so far. But again, you can see this, the cross bracing, the sort of zigzag trusses, which we see on bridges all over the place. It's because it's very, very strong. Bridge number 28, Oliver Benko. So now Oliver is a good example. It's completely spans the rig. And so it's got good 4 solid points, and it lasted for 88.3 newtons. Excellent effort, Oliver. So bridge number 29 is Hudson Holowalenko. Hope I pronounced that correctly. This one, it flipped over onto the left. It didn't have quite enough strength, lateral strength, to keep it from twisting. But we want to see you again next year, Hudson. Isabella Kartinen, bridge number 30. Let's see what this one does. So it has lots of elasticity in the middle, not a lot of tension, but you can see that the bridge is stretching and bending as opposed to breaking, but it will slip through. There we go, it slipped through. So the bridge didn't break, Isabella, but it did bend and collapsed. So here's where we're at so far with the first 30 participants. Brian, thanks for putting this up here. It's good to see how people are going for the first 30. We've got another 148 to go, I guess, John. So Nathan Moscrip is bridge number 31. It's a flat span bridge. And it's 13.2, but you can see where it's just breaking on the right-hand side there, which means that it would slip through. So Tulia stopped the test after it stopped taking load. Savannah Page, this is your bridge. Again, lots of cross bracing, and we'll see how it fares. Nicely done. You've got good four points on the outside of the rig, so that's nice to see that. So span is applied, 74 newtons, and then it twisted and cracked. Thank you, Savannah. Number 33 is Alyssa Stringer. There's another flat bridge, barely sitting in the rig, and it will likely spring through because if it's not quite long enough, we can't apply full pressure and get a really good test. So Eva Sang, bridge number 34. Her bridge is tall enough that it blocks the number in the background, but we'll see how this one goes. And Eva, you've done a good job of spanning the rig. You've got four points there, although you will find that on the left-hand side, it was not supported by the verticals. So it still carries 45.7 before it failed. The next 2 bridges are by Henry and Marco Zhang. Hope I pronounced that last name right. Bridges 35 and 36. Oh, what happened here? Bridge 33. I think it's because we didn't change the number yet. So this is, they're just setting the rig for another flat span bridge. There, they've changed the number now that we have 35. This is Henry's, 35. Get that centered. So what's your guess on this one, John?
Well, as you've indicated in the past, Peter, the flat bridges typically don't take a heavy load. Um, Interesting construction. We do appreciate that people take the time to build it. Keep in mind the triangle in terms of strength holding.
Yeah, so these ones, they take a lot of load, they bend, and that can be very useful for heavy loads for things like suspension bridges. But you don't necessarily want that if you're driving a bus or a car. So it's starting to fail, but it's stretching, and it will eventually probably fall through if they kept applying the load. So now here's Marcos, bridge number 36, another flat one. Again, it certainly has enough span over the rig, but like so many, it would probably bend a lot more before it breaks, and it may even go right through the rig if it's so flexible that it slips down. But it looks like it's failing there on the left. There's always a weak point in a bridge, isn't there?
And this one had quite used up all of the 100 sticks, I'm sure.
Yes, 112.8 newtons. So Sterling, Austin, and Felix are going to have conspired to build Bridge 37. We'll see what kind of load it takes. Okay, so this one is twisting a little bit. You can see on the right-hand side that it's sort of twisting, needs some lateral bracing on that. Bridge 38, Grace Friesen. This one was too short. You can see we had to put blocks in between the traditional rig, which would make it non-compliant for the prizes. And there, but in this one, the deck separated from the uprights, but still got 274.8 newtons. Now there was no bridge 39, so bridge 40. Again, sometimes we had difficulty making sure that the four corners of the bridge were square to the rig. It's really important that that be the case because the load gets applied. Gravity doesn't like angles, and you can see here it after 110, it just sort of shattered. But next time, Zev, keep those 4 points square, and you may get up beyond 241. But that's a good showing. Tristan McLeod on number 41 here, accepting good load, 275.2 newtons before it looks like it sprung out. Again, a little bit of twist and it fell through, but it's still 275 newtons is a good one. So 42, Jaden and Amelia. Let's see what your bridge does. So 110, 120, 30. So 131.6 newtons. Good work, Jaden and Amelia. Okay, bridge number 43, Peter Resnick. Let's see how this one fares. 321, 460. Nicely done, Peter. It twisted before breaking, which is interesting. A little more cross bracing along the top, and you probably would have gone higher. Lyndon and Lila. Let's see where their bridge gets to. Okay, so 128.9. And you'll see that the uprights separated from the deck, and then applying continuous pressure just sort of, it took the load, but it didn't increase the load.
And I should say, every now and again, Sam likes to see it follow all the way through, to make sure that it truly is finished, right?
Yeah. So Owen with bridge number 45, 235 newtons before it stopped taking load. Nicely done. So we have Gracie Hugh, who is now bridge number 46. So 2.7. So set it to neutral. There we go. 57, 136, 180, 190. Does it get 200? 205.2. Nice job, Gracie. Gracie's an elementary student here on the Sunshine Coast. And number 47 is Lily Jones. 225, 270, 296. Will it get to 300? Not quite, but pretty close, Lily. Excellent effort. Thanks for that. Okay, 48, John Sikmin has another flat bridge. So up to 60 maybe? Not quite. Be interesting to take some of these flat bridges, John, and turn them upside just to see the difference. Same amount of wood, but a different strength. And for all the bridge builders, if you try to bend a popsicle stick the wrong way, it's harder than if you bend it when it's flat. Maddox Bell is bridge number 49. 302, 309, 309 newtons. Nicely done, Maddox. So the next one here is Jackson and Taven, bridge number 50. The last few bridges have all been elementary students, and so will the next few. So it's nice to see elementary students doing really well on some of these bridge strengths. 21.7 newtons, Jackson and Taven. Now we'll see how the next bridge, number 51 by Ethan Bartlett, how it's going to fare. So again, a lot of the flat bridges, they bend nicely, but they don't carry a lot of load. And here Tulia can apply more and more, and you just see it bending, but eventually it will fall through if she kept going. Cassandra White, bridge number 52. So again, 176.1, and then some of the individual popsicle sticks. We quite often see this where key points, a single popsicle stick just can't withstand the tension and it breaks. So understanding where the tensions are in a bridge is one of the big, I guess, bits of knowledge that engineers have to have. Austin Griffiths with bridge number 53. Excellent showing, 473 newtons. Nicely done. So, okay. This one,
Not sure.
This one is a bit, Levi, this one is a bit too, we find this one's a bit too short. So,
or was it the getting the loading plate in?
Yeah, it was, yeah, here it is. The loading plate, we had no way of getting the loading plate into this one. So it makes it very difficult to test properly. So a bridge that it may span okay, but if a truck or a car can't drive through it, it gets compromised. So we're gonna run this one and test it anyway.
So this was one where we had to take out a stick or two.
Yes. So carried a load. So Levi, if you had just had one stick removed, we would have been pretty good. And here you can see it slipped off the edge before it actually shattered, but 531.9 newtons.
Yeah, good showing.
Okay, bridge 55, Emma. Let's see what your bridge does. Okay, up to, we're going to make 50. You can see it start to separate below. So up over 50 now, 54.8. and then thanks, John, it wouldn't take any more load. So we've had a run of elementary school students here. This is our last one before we change a little bit. Macy, 199.7. Excellent. Nicely done. You can see, again, you can see where the span, it takes one weak spot and then the bridge starts to fail. Rice and Ridian are the next high school students. Is this high school students or is this adult? I think it's high school students. Number 3.
Family.
Oh, family. This is a family one. Excellent. Rice and Ridian, 1,213 newtons.
Woo.
That's a lot.
All right.
Nicely done. Madeline Dunnett. Now this one is Madeline, it's probably just a little bit too short. If you can, next year, if you can increase your span just a little bit, you'll see that they had to really make an effort to fit this in. And when you start to apply pressure, that far right corner started to slip through and that compromised the bridge. If it had been even a centimeter longer, I guess, John. Yeah. Okay, bridge number 60 is Rowan Rody, another elementary school student. Here we go, 12.2, another flat stretcher bridge. 22.3, and it's gonna slip through, looks like there. Yeah, slip through. The bridge didn't break, but again, it bent too much at 26.6 newtons. So there's our standing so far.
Yeah, just a clarification. What we've ended up doing here is showing you the leaderboard for all of the testing we did.
Okay.
So you're getting a little bit of a quick glance at what some of the future will hold.
Okay, so Rowan, you had another one, and this one is bridge number 61. You can see here, the span is a little bit longer, which is good. It looks like it's a nice, simple, clean bridge, and it carries 287, and stopped carrying load at 287.5. So nice effort there, Rowan. And Phoenix and Shannon have another bridge there. Nice to see the Rody family have what, 4 bridge builders, 3 bridge builders. So Phoenix and Shannon, 322.5 before it failed on bridge number 62. The uprights on that one popped and then the deck snapped. Okay, now we're gonna, again, the elementary school, Josh Oakford has a flat span bridge. Looks to be just about the right length, but could probably have been a bit longer. But here, like so many of these bridges, it bends nice and uniformly and then until it slips through. So $54.1 newtons. Okay, so the next one is bridge number 66 by Nathan. Sorry, I guess we're going to go 65 by Kit Kalani and Wyatt. So again, a flat span bridge, lots of elasticity, not a lot of rigidity, and it stopped carrying load at 18 newtons. So Nathan's bridge now, bridge number 66, again, another flat one, but you certainly got the right length or more. You don't want it too long because you want to be able to take some of those popsicle sticks that are sticking over the rig and use them for strength. But he's up to 36 newtons and then starts to pop just on the right there, 37 newtons, and it stops carrying load. Okay. Jacob Batui has a bridge, sort of a cross between the using the pyramids and using the span. You can see it's got good bending. All the bending is occurring. This is a good one to take a look at. That's all the bending occurred on the ends, but not during the span. So if you have your triangles that go to the end, you're going to get a stronger bridge typically. Bridge number 68, Luke Borg. It's 66.9 newtons before. And you can see how elastic that bridge is. Each piece of wood will contribute to being able to bend, but each piece of wood can also, if it's turned the other way, it can give it some great strength. Isla or Isla Clark, I'll say Isla Clark, 75, 130, 150, 160, 200, nicely done. 212, Isla, that's a great job. Isla's also an elementary school student here. And Livy or Live Devicioni?
I think the spelling there is incorrect no matter what we did.
Okay, well, I'm not going to try to mispronounce it many different ways, but 53.1 newtons. Thanks very much for that. And see, it failed in the middle, not where the cross bracing was. Okay, 60, 70. There you can see how the beams, as they pulled away, the glue failed on the bottom right there and caused it to collapse. Colfaction, number 72. This is another span, another flat span. We'll see how it fares. 80, 90, 100, 118. So this one had a bit more rigidity because of the cross bracing and the angle of some of the struts across. So 118.7 before it stopped taking load. Nicely done, Cole. Gabby Ginnitz. Let's see how your bridge fares. Bridge number 73. So you see how there's no support between each of those triangles is isolated. So you can see where it's failing between the triangles or underneath. Thanks, Gibby. The next one here, number 74, is by Lila Hart. Almost 141 before breakage occurred. And it wasn't so much the wood broke, I think the glue separated on that one. So when you're gluing this, it's really good to apply a bit of glue and then apply some pressure. It can be with an elastic band or with a clamp or something, or a paper clip even, just to give that glue a consistent thickness. Elizabeth, we have another bridge here, number 75 to 100, 106.9. 111.7, and then you can see on the right-hand side there it bent at a point and started to stretch. Okay, bridge number 76, Sebastian Kiewitz. So here you've got a flat slab deck with some cross bracing. Let's just hope that we get some stretching here, 35.9. So Sebastian, you can see the part where you had the triangles was really strong. So if you next year when you do them right across and you get a much better result. Alani Labelle, number 77. Again, you've got a good, see how the center part of that bridge is going down square, but the sides were a bit too stretchy. So if you keep those triangles going right across the bridge to the load points, you'll have a much stronger bridge. And this one here by Stella, see how it fares. Here you have this separation again from the deck and the the uprights. 49.7. Okay, number 79 is Aubrey Mowbray, flat span bridge, so 74 newtons. Tulia is pointing out where it's starting to fail. You can see, and at 74.4, it stopped taking load. Everly Musgrove, bridge number 80. You've got the bridge long enough, which is nice. It's sitting nicely on the rig. And we will see how this one fares, if it fails or if it stretches. So it's bending in the middle, but again, you can see how the deck where there's the triangle remains square. So I suspect if Everly had joined those two triangles, she would have a much stronger bridge next time. But that's what this is all about. This is about education and learning, and it's okay to have these bridges fail because that's how we learn. Indeed. Better to have it fail as a popsicle stick bridge than elsewhere. Adrena, number 81, 61.9. You've got a good span. You've got some nice upright cross bracing, but the testing rig always finds the weak spot. Okay, Owen Podersky Cannon, number 82. Owen, here's a bridge where we didn't have enough on one side. You can see how it's twisting. The bridge doesn't quite reach the end on the left-hand side. The beam that's closest to us didn't quite span the whole length, so that's why it stretched and didn't, as opposed to break. 17.2. Kaylee Sheridan, number 83, similar bridge. Again, you've got lots of room, but looks like you have a glue failure coming just on the left there. At 17.6, it stops taking load. So this is Spencer's bridge, Spencer Skogstad. And we're going to start applying the pressure here. Bridge number 84. This is sort of a cross between a panel and also got those uprights. We'll see how it fares. Okay, we're starting to see just on the right-hand side there, it's where the weak point is, probably only one popsicle stick thickness there, and you can see that's where it collapsed. You can't fool the rig, it always knows. Kellen Tannick, number 85, another flat bridge. Lots of overhang on that. You can see that there's glue separation, not wood failure in the middle there. So connections and joints are just as important as the material you use. Presley Urquhart, number 86. See, the pressure goes down. The cross bracing provided some good, or the pyramid bracing provided some good strength, but there's that one spot just near the right-hand side between the two braces where those braces aren't connected. If those braces were connected, they would provide both some tension and some compression against failure. But as an elementary school student, I didn't know this.
Hey.
Emily Weber, bridge number 87. Here we go. Talia pumps until 91 newtons, causes it to fail. Ella Wharton's bridge number 88. We'll start applying the pressure here. Nicely done so far. Seems to be taking load nicely, evenly. And then it's, again, just connecting those cross braces is really important. That gives it a lot of strength. Ella Echterberg, bridge number 90. We're about halfway done now, John.
Going very well. You're doing a super job, Peter.
Ella's bridge, again, it's a flat span bridge. You can see it's like so many of these we've seen. It's bending, and then at some point it fails either by bending too much or by having a joint separation. Let's see how bridge 91. This is another flat span bridge by Eloise Bolander. Interesting how they've got, she built this up with cross bracing. So you can see it's carrying a fairly load. It's still bending, but it's much more rigid. And we're only when we start getting glue failure do we start to see the bridge start to come apart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to consider. You know, having depth of the bridge as well as good connections makes a difference. 74.2. Nicely done, Eloise. Now, Carter Brackett is going to have bridge number 93. I don't think we had a bridge number 92. So just changing that number here to 93. There we go. Okay, now let's apply some pressure to Carter's bridge, 20.3. There, you can see the glue failure in the middle. 74.9. And the stretching, if we kept going, it would just probably spring through the bottom, but that one also failed in the middle. Nathan Furman, bridge number 94. Let's see how your bridge fares. Okay, start to apply some pressure here. 103, 180, 215. Nicely done, Nathan. 255. And again, it failed at a weak point in the wood where there was probably only a single popsicle stick. Okay, number 95, Jacob Nichols Bridge. Again, it's a flat span bridge. Seems to be long enough, but it's stretching a lot. It's amazing how a curve, when you bend something, it really shortens the capability of that span. 96, Tyler Wing. Okay, up to 18. There we go. So that one, 46.7, and it didn't break, but it bent so much that it was now too short to span the rig. So we need rigidity, flexibility, strength. Bryn Story's bridge here is another flat one, but again, it's a bit thicker. It's got some cross bracing in the middle. It's not just built up with glue. 106.2 newtons. Nicely done, Bryn. And now we'll see how Callum Story's bridge goes. Number 98. Similar design to Bryn's. 221.5. Nicely done. I think that's one of the highest for one of the flat span bridges.
I think you're right, Peter.
Okay, bridge number 99 is Lily Wilson's. Similar in concept with a cross bracing and a bit of depth. You can see those give a bit more strength. Almost hit 195.6. And bridge number 100 is Christopher Lawson. Chris has got up to 173 before it stopped taking pressure. And you can see the lost glue contact between the upright and the deck, and then it started to twist. 220.1 newtons, and when they realized it wasn't going to take any more load. But nicely done, Christopher. A lot of the elementary school students put in a really good effort in thinking about this, and I commend their teachers and their parents, because I know that they're always there to help and to have fun. Tara Burnell, 300.6. Nicely done. That's a strong bridge, nice deck, slender. Well, you can see how the pyramid, the bracing is all connected. Jacob Plow, very similar concept, where the trusses were joined along the bridge length, but this one, they probably could have been joined across the top as well. But still 138.3 newtons. Nicely done, Jacob. Charlie's, oh, yeah, 100, yeah, 109. I think that's all we're going to get out of that one too. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the update for some of the bridges that we've seen to Tara's, and here's the elementary. Lots of really good bridges in the elementary program that came out. That's really nice to see. So kudos to those teachers that give their kids STEM education at this age. Charlie Stremlaw applying pressure to a bridge. You can see again he had some cross bracing here, and then failure just before 100. But nicely done, Charlie.
I'm not sure this is a exercise in dexterity challenge, right? Trying to get that.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes you have to, I have big hands, and sometimes the big hands don't fit in the small small bridges. But so this bridge here, bridge 111 by Noam and Odin. So Tuli is going to apply the pressure here. This one is interesting because it had the good intent of the cross bracing underneath it, but the glue contact, because they're gluing an edge to a face, and that's not always easy. So it stopped taking load, but it didn't break. Up to 19, 20, 21.4, 23. So Noam, Odin, glue connections, again, making sure that there's a clamp and make a flat surface to a flat surface is a really, edges to edges are not as strong as flats to flats. So just keep that in mind. Michael, bridge number 112. So this one looks like it has potential here. Oh, now
Twisting.
yeah, it's twisting. So having the same effect of the cross bracing that supports the gravity can also be used on the top of the bridge. And if you are ever on some of these older bridges, there's some in Vancouver where there's cross bracing along the roof, you can see that it keeps it rigid and stiff on the length and also prevents it from twisting. Andrew Flux, see he's got some of the cross bracing on the top there, probably not enough to keep it from twisting, but still got 259.5 newtons on that one. Okay, Liam Makeham's bridge. I like the fact that he's got the point load on one side, but he didn't have enough strength to support the bridge on the other rig, on the other side of the rig. So Liam, you had the right idea, but you need the bridge longer so that the verticals are right over the edge of the rig, because those popsicle sticks will break. Ori, Hal, and Harry. Bridge 115, a flat span, 82.5 newtons. So Serena Montgomery, 117. Now we missed 116, but that was a video glitch that I talked about earlier. And we did test 116, and it tested out to 53.3. But that's something happened, and we don't know what. Isabel Straw's bridge number 118 tested out to 232.8. I think we have bridge 116. Well, maybe if we get a chance later, I'll show it to people. Oh, here it is. No, this is 119. You can see 117. We didn't change the number, but that's on us. And here again, having the connections between the top of the triangles would have given that bridge a lot more rigidity as well. Okay, Rebecca, number 120. This one tested out. You can't see the newtons. You can see it on the computer at the back. But I don't know whether this wasn't Rebecca's. I don't know if we knew the name on that one, but it tested out at 123.7. This is Rebecca's, tag number 21. And you can see where there was some glue separation on the bottom of the deck. And then it went to 23.7 newtons before it stopped taking, 31.8 before it stopped taking load.
Yeah, just a quick note, Peter. Number 120 was Leah, but we
Leah.
had no other information on it.
Okay,
So we're going to try and track
Leah,
that
your
down.
bridge number 120 tested at 123.7 newtons. So Michaela, bridge number 122. So that one looked like it only went to 10.4, but I think it's because it wasn't quite long enough. It was long enough to test, but not long enough to stay testing. So here, this is an interesting bridge here. You've got the vertical popsicle sticks carrying the load on the beams with the cross bracing to keep it from twisting. Very simple design, very strong design, up to 831 newtons, 830.1 newtons.
So it does show that the flat bridge.
Flat bridge, yeah.
But you think about breaking a popsicle stick. If you break it sideways, flat, it breaks easily. Try and break it the other way.
And it's hard.
Almost impossible.
Yep. So this bridge number 124, Nate and Nicholas. So I loaded it up in the middle. Lots of strength in the middle. That's staying pretty stiff. But by bending, it made it too short, so it slipped through the rig. Aiden's bridge number 125, a nice tall bridge here. Probably could have used some connection between the nice tall roof and the bottom of the deck. So it would have given it some more tension, but that's still 147 newtons. Nicely done, Aiden. So Oscar's bridge here. You see it's fits in the span. Now we'll see how we can load it with. Okay, it's starting to twist, but it still gets 211.1 newtons before it stops taking load. You can see once those verticals separated from the deck, it switches from being a truss bridge, just to being into a flat slab. So Boland's bridge tested from the top. Looks like some of the railroad bridges that we have around in BC, but tested out at 295.1 newtons. Bridge number 128, Alice and Naomi. Again, a flat bridge, lots of bending capability. And I think we could apply that pressure all day and it wouldn't increase much more than 40 or so before it slips through. So 46.1. Thank you, Alice and Naomi. Cody Kelso, bridge number 129, another flat span bridge. Pretty solid looking bridge across the top. But again, the beams are what are bending. If those beams, if the popsicle sticks were twisted just oriented 90 degrees, it would give a lot more rigidity than the 19.89 newtons that we achieved. But Cody, we'll see you next year for sure. Ryan Inkster. It's got a flat bridge here. Looks like it's not quite square, Ryan. What you might want to do next year is just make sure that it's square on all the edges, because it was difficult for us to keep it on the rig. It stretched, and then here we figured at 35.6 it wasn't going to take any more loading. Cohen, another flat bridge, elementary student. Very similar in how these bridges go. They don't take a lot of weight, but they sure bend. They're really flexible. But 26.7 newtons. And here's another one of the similar design. Flat. This one looks like it's got a bit more rigidity in the side there, John. It's got that built up sort of beam a little bit. So you can see it's carrying 34.7, but then it has a glue failure. Again, the importance of really good connections and good materials at weak points. That's all the things that a bridge designer has to be aware of. Materials, connections, span, stiffness. Okay, Eric Benko, nice strong looking bridge. 293 newtons. Nicely done, Eric. That was a nice bridge there. 293 newtons. Okay, number 134, Julia Hayward. It's got the verticals going across there, John. You see the popsicle sticks are on edge going across.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Julia, I think if those popsicle sticks were going the length of the bridge rather than across the bridge, you'd probably get a lot more strength on that.
You'll find some of the bridges where they double up and sometimes even triple on the outside girders going across.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't break. Separated. Okay, Yuki Abe. Okay, so that one, the sides sort of flipped off again. If you can connect the two sides with some cross bracing across the top of the bridge, it's going to give it much more stiffness. Okay, number one, Paya's bridge, number 136. And it's at 16.8. We're starting to get some separation, but again, Paya used the same basically the railroad tie going across, but the bridge is still very flexible and slipped through the rig. So 26.6 newtons. Indra Bain has one, number 137. Again, looks like we have some glue failure, not material failure, but it still went up to 139.9 newtons. So here, the bridge number 138 was actually was too short.
Too short.
Yeah, so it was too short.
We've added those
you can
extra.
see the beams, so that was non-compliant. And then we go to Taya Bruce, who is not too short here, and but the deck separated from the bridge, so that's a connections failure, not a material or a design failure. But those connections are really important. Again, if you're going to glue flat face to flat face and have a little clamp or paper clip or something to hold it together. Daniel Sear, bridge number 140. Again, having that cross bracing between the two trusses on the side would give it a lot more rigidity. That one's separated. Those two separated from the deck. Now I think we did not have number 141. So this is number 142, Eric Dunnett. And that went to 22.9 newtons, and then it's the side truss separated from the deck. So this bridge number 143, you can't see the number there behind the bridge, but that's Sophie Evans. Here we go. Again, the trusses were long enough, but the deck wasn't quite long enough. So that's why it didn't succeed. Number 144, Paige Florence. Again, Paige, you had a strong looking bridge. You need to move the triangles so that they cover the whole span, so that they carry the load all across and don't cause the bending, which the deck would cause it to pull away from the trusses on the side. Una Kuri is bridge number 145. I have another 33 bridges to go. So Una, you can see the bottom of the deck is separating out under pressure, but it went to 86.2 newtons. Anna Cote is bridge number 146. So let's see how this one fares. Okay, so 100 newtons exactly. before the bridge, the deck separated. The trusses didn't break. Those are like a box truss there. Nice design. But if that deck had stayed there, well, you might have got up a lot higher. So taking it out of the rig sometimes is as hard as putting it in. Okay, number 147, Jordan McNee. Okay, this one here was just on a little bit on the short side. Again, it stretched and then fell through the gap, but 15.7 newtons for Jordan. 148 is Hayden Payne. So let's see how Hayden's bridge does. Oh, nicely done. 181. But then Hayden, you can see how it sort of twisted. The trusses on the side started to twist, and then it can't carry any load. But still, 181 is not too bad. Okay, Nico Pinfold's bridge number 149. It's separated. The deck is separating from those the triangle trusses, and it ended up at 39.2 newtons. Okay, bridge number 150 is Summer Pringle. See how hers does here. 92.3, but see, Summer, it slipped off the side there. You got to have those verticals on the edge of the rig as well as through the middle. So Kaya's number 151. This was a non-compliant.
Could drive over
because the bridge has to be able to accommodate a vehicle from ground level. That one, no vehicle could get on the top, so it didn't comply with the regulations. 152 is Liam Purcell. Again, Liam, on the right-hand side, you'll see that your support wasn't completely onto the rigging. So it's really important, again, to have all four corners of the bridge square and of the same length, so that all the pressure can be applied without twisting. Dow Roll has bridge 153 that ended up at 153 newtons.
Special price for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he planned that. So how did you know that? Ina Sasaki is bridge number 154. It's a very contemporary looking bridge, I'd say, John. Look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see how it fares. Okay, so Ina, nice design, but I think you need to have a bit more rigidity. And I think, again, so a lot of these ones, gluing to make it stick and gluing to make it strong are two different things. Anna Swanson is bridge number 156. There we go, 56 newtons. 73 newtons is for Anna's bridge. Okay, Isabella White has bridge number 157. It's got the trusses on the right, but you can see that it's separated from the deck, so that the connection between the deck and the truss could be stronger, and that would give it more rigidity and more load capacity. Okay, so this next one is non-compliant. You can see on the left-hand side there, and on the right, we had to put in some blocks because the bridge was too short. So having to put in those blocks to test it means that it's not eligible. But so really important to follow the instructions to make sure that the outside supports are clearly the full length of the span and the rig. So you can see this one here easily spans the full rig. It makes it easier for us to install. We don't have to fiddle around with it to make sure that all 4 points are in connection with the rig. So the closer you follow some of the instructions and some of the guidelines, there's I know there's lots of YouTube videos that people can watch on how to build popsicle stick bridges. But if you want to see this next year, if you want to have your have an entry, you might want to come and watch this video again and just to get some ideas as to what worked and what didn't. So tag number 160 is Cypress Louis. It's got trusses, and then but the deck separated, and it's perhaps the popsicle stick should be across the top of the beam where you can get some flat surface.
Might add, Peter, quickly that we're going to invite a couple of builders to actually build some bridges over the summer, take some photos and show the various stages of bridge building.
Excellent. Yeah. And then we can have those posted on our website next year before the contest.
Yep.
So Jacob Helfer is bridge number 161, a flat span, but 68.4. And bridge number 162 is Mackenzie Holiday. Okay, we'll see how Mackenzie's bridge does. So Mackenzie, if you notice this on the right-hand side, your bridge isn't really well fitted onto the rig, so it's gonna have difficulty getting too much strength before it bends. As we see, 30 newtons. But I'm sure that you learned something, and maybe you've already got some ideas for next year. So Scarlett Stinson, I'm going to see how your bridge fares. Flexibility, but we don't always want that if we're trying to carry a load. So this is going to stretch, and there it falls through the opening, which is at 28.8 newtons. Okay.
165.
Okay, so this one here, again, you can see that we had to insert 2 blue blocks in between the edges of the rig because it was too short. So that means it's not compliant. So Nikal, next year, just keep it a bit longer so that we can put it on the full rig, not just on the little additional supports. Koji Kaneko is bridge number 166. So 158, 57, so 286 newtons. Koji, that's an excellent result. Koji is an elementary school student, and congratulations. That's a nice bridge. A lot of bridges do have the supports, like the Iron Workers Memorial Bridge has the supports underneath. Other bridges have the supports from above. Hunter K is number 167. Pretty skookum little bridge there, Hunter. Starting to twist, but 116.5 newtons before it wouldn't take any more load. Emma Langdon is bridge number 168, another typical flat bridge that will likely take a load up to maybe 25, 30, 50 newtons. Here we go, 45, 48, 50. And that's about it before it's going to snap or fall through. There we go. Okay, bridge number 169. Again, this one was a tricky one to fit in because it wasn't square. The 4 corners, an easy way to measure the 4 corners is to take a tape measure from one corner to the opposite corner, and it should be exactly the same distance as measuring the other 2 corners. That's how you can tell if it's square. So Riley Olson's bridge at 4.3 newtons, bent enough, and then it slipped through the rig. Okay, so Bianca's bridge looks a bit short as well. Bianca, you need to have it the full length between the dark blue rigging, which has the metal plates on it. But you can see here we had to put a couple of other pieces of lighter blue wood, and then we'll do the testing. And you can see the flat bridge, it reached 162 newtons, but it's not compliant. But now I think you've got some good ideas for what might work next year.
Well, we're just about done.
Yes, we've got another 6 or 7 here. Bridge number 172 is Regan Nuski, or Reagan. Okay, we'll apply the pressure slowly but surely. There's some geese flying over.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's some geese flying over us here.
Part of the Canadiana.
Yeah, so long as they don't fly directly overhead, we're okay. Regan, it was 22.3 newtons for that one. Okay, now this is an interesting. I don't think we've seen too many of these where they got X braces instead of triangle, but this one was a bit tricky to fix because there was a cross brace right in the middle, but we did have it, the plate didn't fit easily. So we had to change it. It also made it so that it was non-compliant, but we'll see what it does. 446. So Constantine, I think you've got some good concepts going there. You just need to make sure that it complies to the rules that allow the bridge deck to get inside. But it was a nice load. Number 174, Luca, Zoe, Kirk, and Nathan. So this one fit in, but the deck separated at 151.6 newtons. So, 258.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deck started to fail earlier, but the bridge, 258.2 newtons. And then we had to figure out how to get it off.
Yes.
Okay. Another sort of a box truss look here.
And it's
Number 175. It was a bit too short. You can see we had to place it on those additional blocks inside the rig, so it's not compliant. But let's see how it fares for strength. Okay. So Ermia, that was I think the bridge itself looked pretty strong. You just need to strengthen the outside a little bit so that the verticals are on the outside of the main rig, and you might have had a really good bridge there. Max, bridge number 176. So there we go, some bits broke off. So Max, what's happening here is that the two trusses seem to be pretty good, strong double trusses, but they twisted because they weren't connected across the top. So if you can connect the trusses to each other, it just gives some extra rigidity and prevents it from twisting. Okay, number 177, Tanner, this is your bridge. You can see, again, we had to put it on the extra little blocks inside the rig because it was too short. So it didn't cover the span, but we tested it anyway, so you can get a sense of how your design might work. And you can see it starts bending, didn't break, but it stretched and went up to 74.8 newtons. And the last one, John, I don't know who this one is, number 178. I don't, let's see if there was a...
we had a name of Elisa.
Elisa,
but
okay.
We're going to be trying to track down and see if we can find out
Okay.
Elisa.
So now we'll see how this goes. This is the last bridge, folks. And then you can stop listening to us, unless you already have. So 11.3 newtons, and, or sorry, 16.5 newtons. I think we did run this one by again, try to, yeah, we'll apply another, see how this one goes. See if they get so stretchy, 20.1 newtons before it stopped taking load. So
Excellent.
So
well
that's our all of the bridges that we've tested. John, what's next, would you say?
Well, I think we're going to load up information in terms of results.
Okay, so yeah.
So this is a listing, and I'm looking to our techie here. So this is a listing of the elementary entries.
And Luca was the winner.
Luca ended up being at the top of the elementary at 830.1 newtons.
Excellent.
We'll read out all of the top elementary. There are 8 prizes in total, 3 secondary prizes, 3 family prizes, and 3 for adults. Okay, we're just in the process of loading that information. We again want to express our appreciation to our sponsors while we're doing that. Our lead financial partner was the Rotary Club of Gibsons. Lead contributors included Grant Marshall, Realtor, Sutton West Coast, the Rotary Club of Seashelt, J. Wayne Rowe Law Office. Those were our lead contributors. Our sponsors included Gibson's Building Supplies, Home Hardware Gibson's, and James and McIntyre Chartered Professional Accountants. We will be reaching out through the summer and early this fall for other sponsors for our events, Peter, that relate to promoting science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, and again, express our appreciation to our volunteers who've stepped up to help make this happen.
And I think with the technical, the festival that we want to have, it's a festival not with balloons and clown stuff, but it's just a festival. It's a gathering of people to celebrate science and technology and engineering and math, and it's open to anyone. I would encourage, if you're curious or if you're interested, we're always looking for volunteers. And if you want to contribute in time or money or kind, I'm sure that all you have to do is contact John, and he'll find something for you to do. No question about that.
Yes, thanks, Peter. Are we about ready to put up that?
I don't believe your voice, we have the totals here going by.
Okay, so there are the 8 top. Are these the 8 top? No.
No.
So we're going to list the. I'm going to now list the 8 top scores, the highest pressures applied to the bridge. Bridge number 123, Luca Prektratic for elementary came in at 830.1 newtons. Second was Austin Griffiths at 473, Peter Resnick at 463, Pulkit Grover at 389, Oliver Bellavance McKenzie and Stelio Richardson at 338.6, Maddox Bell at 309, Lily Jones at 296.9, and the 8th is Bowen Zhang at 295.1. So congratulations to the 8 in the elementary classification. At in the secondary level, Calum came out at 1,152.9. He also was number 2, coincidentally, with bridges 11 and 12 at 684.5. However, our rules indicate, Calum, that we can award 1 prize per category. And then third in this category of secondary was Luca, Zoe, and Nathan at 258.2. So congratulations.
Excellent.
To the secondary students, much appreciated. Family is always a great category, good fun, and I've had the opportunity of chatting with parents and their children in this category. The top in this was the Trill family. So bridge number 57, Rise and Meridian at 1,213.7 newtons.
And that's the highest overall, too.
And that's the highest overall, Peter.
Yeah.
Bang on, yeah,
Yes.
indeed. So I'm going to give you the others that are in this category. The other 2 is Isaac Eisen, 1074.5, and Jackson Eisen at 859.0. Both of them in the same family. However, the judges determined that because there was a separate builder, lead builder in each case, that we would accept the 2 in that category. And then there was the adult category. And there we've got 3 winners, 19, bridge number 19, Katie Stewart and Deb Crispin at 736.6. Deb came in at number 20 at 552.1. Bridge number 25, Zach and Ava, Caden Lyle at 524.1. So a great showing by everybody.
Mhm.
Peter, maybe you just want to remind us of the top overall categories.
Sure. Again, the strongest bridge with 1,213.7 newtons was Rice Gatrell and Rise and Ridian Gatrell. Callum, and I should mention that Callum has been building these bridges for a while. So Callum, it's really great to see that you are still quite active and involved with this. And your bridge was 1152.9. Isaac Eisen was once 1074.5. Jackson Eisen was 859. So, and then Luca Prokratic at from elementary school 830.1. So it's wonderful to see all of these and to recognize their their time that they put into this, their effort, their mental capacity. And I know that when it comes to the elementary students, that they also depend on their parents and their teachers, and that's really where the learning has to happen with our kids. There we go.
There we go. All right. Well, listen, again, we want to take this moment to just express our sincere appreciation to everybody that took a hand, got involved, and made this an outstanding event. Double, express, just overexcited to hear double the number of bridges this year over last. So thank you so very much. Again, we want to express our appreciation to the teachers who stepped up big time this year, the school district who provided information out to the school system, Coast Reporter who helped keep this contest alive and growing in the minds of the community, to the many volunteers who helped out, another great event for this year. So I think, Peter, on that, we're about ready to wrap up.
We're good.
Thank you.
And thanks to all the volunteers and to Brian who's given up a couple of weekends and I don't know how many hours at night to do all the technology and stuff. We couldn't do it without him, and we couldn't do it without you as the participants.
Indeed. So we will be in touch with each of the winners to arrange to get the prizes to you. And with that, thank you very much. And thanks for joining us. And we'll hopefully see you and many more of you next year at the 12th annual Sunshine Coast Popsicle Stick Bridge Building Contest.